end of tour party the night before it was the actual end of tour, which to this day is the worst idea that ever happened on the history in the universe. But
Thomas Rhett, thank you so much for being here and diving into iHeartRadio's The Box. So we're going to walk down memory lane, relive some key moments and milestones from your career. It's going to be fun. I'm excited for this one. Are you ready to dive in?
I'm ready. I'm nervous about what's in here, but I'm ready to go.
We have a nice little unboxing for you. Okay, so if you want to open it up and go ahead and pull out that first item.
Just any item? It doesn't matter?
Yeah, just any item. I have one that I'm hoping that you're going to go for, but go ahead.
Okay. I'm not going to look, but here we go. Let's see what we got here. Okay, here we go. Wow.
We had to do it.
Oh, man.
A vinyl of your debut album. It goes like this. Released October 2013.
I don't know who did my hair this day. Maybe it was me.
The flow.
Oh, gosh. The frat swoop is what I had going on at this point in time. A lot of chest hair showing, as you do. Man, this feels like literally 100 years ago.
Does it? I can imagine.
Like, I look at this person in this photo, and I'm like, you have been married for 3 years. Oh, the things that you're going to learn over the next 7 years of your life. But, sometimes I go back and listen to this record, and even this record we put out today, it reminds me a lot of this record. I just feel like I've grown so much more as a songwriter since this day. And so it's funny just to see where this is, like, that face right there. I don't look that young anymore. I'm starting to get some grays up in here. I was definitely more in shape back then. But no, this is a very fond memory, and to have it on vinyl too is very cool. So. And
you think back on the making of this album, and you reflect back. What stands out to you?
Well, I don't think I had any idea what I was doing. I think I had a producer, I had a record label, and I had a batch of songs, and I was like, okay, we're doing it. We're going for it. But I don't know. I look back at this record, and I don't know. I see somebody that had a lot of work to do with his voice. A lot of work to do on his show. But, I look back at some of these songs, and we still are playing, I think, 3 or 4 of these songs in our set today, So it's really cool, every night when we get to play these songs, and you say, this was the very first number one that I ever had, and getting to hold this record, kind of looking back at that time. It feels like so long ago, and then you watch people in the crowd singing these songs like it was released yesterday. It's kind of cool to watch a crowd kind of grow up with you in a way. Because 8 years ago we were all 8 years younger, and now here we are. So, very, very special memory. So.
Oh, well, we love it. It's so great to get to walk down this memory lane, to see this album, and now your new album out now. So exciting. All right, TR, if you want to dive back in, we've got a few more things for you.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is. I'm pretty sure my dad took this photo of me in like 1994. This probably would have been at one of his shows. It's like one of my favorite photos of my youth. Just getting to watch Dad do his thing. I was just so studying his every move on stage, So I bet there's things that I do on stage that were just exactly like him. So that's amazing.
No, I mean, this is so cute. We obviously had to pull this one. Baby TR, of course, for our audience watching, you tweeted this out. We saw it, and the caption is "Overanalyzing the set list since 1996. Thanks for the photo pops." So cute. My 100%. Number one question is: are you still overanalyzing the set list? Is that still happening for you?
Always. I would say it's my band's biggest pet peeve about me. Because we could rehearse a set for a year, and then the moment we get there to the show, I'm like, hey, we're going to swap these two. So I'm an overanalyzer for sure.
What's your go-to ending song? Do you have one?
Man, last year on the road, we ended with this song called T-Shirt, which is always just such a fun, up-tempo way to kind of get out of the show. And but this year we're still working on it. We don't know yet. We haven't done this in so long, so we have a chance to experiment with what the opener and the closer is going to be. So hopefully I don't overanalyze it too much this year.
Now, as you get ready to go back on tour, do the nerves set in, or is it more excitement? What is the feelings that arise?
Yeah, even played on the ACMs the other night. I was telling somebody, it was like, it felt good to be nervous again, for something other than, a kid having a dirty diaper, or something like that. So it's been nice to kind of get out a little bit and start playing music again. But those nerves always turn into excitement and adrenaline to me. So I've missed that feeling for so long. It's kind of something I just have craved all year. So we're getting close. So I'm really excited.
Now, I love this photo, obviously, because you grew up watching your dad on stage for your girls. I know they're a little younger, but do you think they are going to have any musical aspirations? What's it like when they see you on stage?
It's amazing. They always stand in front of house with my wife, and Lennon has never actually seen me play before. She was born in February right in the midst of 2020.
Yeah.
So, but Willa Gray and Ada James, Willa Gray always stays up for my whole set. Ada James usually falls asleep on somebody's shoulder, but I love getting to run down the catwalk and just get to give them a hug mid-show or sing a song to them or something. They love music. They love getting to come down to my studio at the house and watch me play. And they're banging on the piano or hitting a drum, and it'll be really cool if they ever do enjoy it to kind of just give them any bit of knowledge that I have on what they want to do. So I love getting to have them at my shows, and it just gives me so much excitement when I walk out there.
Now, do they each have a favorite song that you play live?
Willa Gray's favorite song is Crash and Burn, and Ada James's favorite song is this song called Vacation, which I released on my second record. Two songs that I have over listened to in my car because it seems like the only songs they want to hear. So they definitely have their favorites.
So they're fans. That's great.
They're fans, yeah, but they also don't care what I do for a living. So it's a good juxtaposition.
A nice balance. All right, TR, let's keep going in the box. If you want to grab another one out of there, let's see what else we have for you.
Okay. What is this? Oh my God.
Okay, so show the camera. We have a high-heeled flip-flop. Do you know what this represents?
Yeah, it represents a time in my life I wish had probably never happened. But probably one of the most embarrassing phases I ever went through. Sixth grade, I think it was sixth grade, but me and a couple of the guys in my sixth grade class started a British punk rock band called the High-Heeled Flip-Flops. And we had one show and one show only. It was I'll never forget, it was at Matthew Johnson's Halloween party. And it was also prom the same night, so we had maybe like 20 people at our show because everybody else was at prom.
So y'all skipped prom for the show?
Yeah, we just wanted to be rebels. You know what I mean? Like we wanted to ditch prom.
You're the high-heeled flip-flops.
We wanted to play a rock and roll show. And I was a drummer at that point, and it was just hilarious. We got to make I call it a record, but we recorded 5 songs in my dad's living room. And I don't even know where that CD is anymore, but if I could find that, I would love to send you a copy so you could review it.
We
I'm
need
sure
to resurface that. What was the big hit of the high-heeled flip-flops?
We had a song that I wrote in French class called Back to the 70s. And actually, I say I wrote it. I brought the idea to my dad. My dad wrote the entire thing, and then we went and recorded it as a band because none of us knew how to write songs at that point. So it was comical.
Amazing.
It was.
So your dad gets a credit on that one. Amazing.
Yeah, that publishing check was really big for him, so I'm happy for him.
All right, let's keep going. Let's dive in.
Okay, here we go. Well, what do you know?
It wouldn't be an iHeart shoot without a little tequila.
Yeah, if I break into this, y'all forgive me. No, this has been one of the funnest things I've gotten to do in the last 5 years. My cousin who lives down in South Georgia, we're third cousins, but we're more like brothers. We've been super close since I was born, pretty much. I was born down in Valdosta, Georgia. I've lived in Nashville most of my life, but me and Jeff have always been in such good contact. And ever since we've been adults, he's got 3 boys, I've got 3 girls, so it's really tough for us to connect a lot just with traveling and all that kind of mess. But we were skiing in Telluride, we go there every year to ski, and we were on the ski lift one day, and we were like, man, we should start a company together. I don't really know what it's going to be. Maybe it's like a line of fly fishing rods, or maybe it's maybe we're starting a shoe company. I don't really know. And then we had just had a bunch of tequila the night before, and we kind of become connoisseurs of tequila and the process and the history of it. And I was just man, let's make a tequila brand. And kind of our main mission statement in the beginning was, even if only our family and friends drink it, we can be proud of it, And so after 3.5 years of testing tequila, trying tequila, looking at a million different bottle samples, this is kind of what we landed on, and it's something that Jeff and I are super proud of. And so just like the memory of just the whole process of making this tequila was one of the funnest times of my life.
So now, does your family and friends drink this tequila? Do they like it? Do they approve?
They better. If I see them with any other tequila in their hand, they're going to get, in trouble.
Is this your go-to drink? You drink tequila mostly?
No, it truly is, yeah. I've always been kind of a bourbon guy, but over the last 5 years, it's been tequila with a piece of ice and an orange peel. Yeah.
All right, what else do we got?
Okay, here we go. Okay. It's a picture of...
We got a photo of you and Jason Aldean.
Me and Jason, yep.
When was this photo taken, by the way? Do you recognize this photo?
It's starting to come back to me now.
Some Dos Primos.
No, I remember this because I think this was 2016, and Jason had his end of tour party the night before it was the actual end of tour, which to this day is the worst idea that ever happened on the history in the universe. But because it was a whole weekend of shows, and he planned his end of tour party for Friday night, and we still had to play on a Saturday. So obviously everybody was kind of getting loose and all this kind of stuff. And I'll never forget, playing that show the next night. I was like, man, why is the after party not tonight? After the tour actually ended. But man, that was such a fun night. I remember Jason had a karaoke machine set up, and I remember him singing a whole bunch of Joe Diffie songs up there. So that's a great memory.
One of your first ever songwriter cuts was for Jason Aldean's My Kind of Party album,
Yeah.
I Ain't Ready to Quit. Take me back to that moment when you first found out that your song was going to be on Jason Aldean's album.
I remember it clear as day. I was 19 years old in college at a small school in Nashville, and I just signed a developmental publishing deal. And so I was writing with a bunch of other people that had never had even a cut or a single or anything on any of their artists. And me and 3 guys wrote this song called I Ain't Ready to Quit. I'll never forget getting that phone call from my publisher saying, hey, Jason Aldean is recording one of your songs. And at that point, this is kind of when Jason was just starting to take off, like really becoming a superstar, and so that was a really cool record to be on. And I remember me and a bunch of guys kind of shared a house close to school, and we all took our trucks over to the store and each bought 2 copies of the record, and parked my truck right in the front yard, and we played that song on repeat until 4 o'clock in the morning. It was like one of the coolest moments ever. You think that I've made it, and so I still go back to that sometimes, even today, and I'm just like, man, it was just such a cool memory.
All right, TR, keep diving into the box. Let's see what else we got for you.
Okay, what we got here? Oh, my little
We've
babies.
got another photo of your girls. How cute. So this is from your wife Lauren's Instagram.
Yeah.
First off, I personally love them so much. And I love following the adventures on Instagram. So I can only imagine how you feel about them.
I'm 31, so I'm getting up there, but every time I'm with them, I feel like I'm 15 again. They make my heart feel so young, and they're so funny. I mean, it's amazing how a 1-year-old can have so much personality. I look at Lennon, and then I look at Ada James, and I remember Ada James being 1, and now she's 3, and I remember, man, the first time that I ever met Willa Gray, she was 9 months old, and now she's 5 and freaking starting kindergarten. It's just amazing how fast they grow. But man, they keep me on my toes. They have made me such a more patient human being, ever since I've had kids. And I mean, even this picture looks old now. I mean, that's how fast they grow, So, man, I just got into photography last year, and I think the only thing on my camera is pictures of them. So
is your girls.
Just trying to catch the moment, because it does go by pretty fast.
What is the best part for you about being a girl dad?
I've just learned to just embrace what it means to be a girl dad. I'm not above sitting there at the kitchen table getting my fingernails painted, and I'm not above braiding hair, or even the mornings that I'm like taking them to school, and Lauren's like, "Can you put a clip in Ada James's hair?" I'm like, "Which side? Like on the top, on the back? Like, how do you want this to look?" And there's never been a moment where I've actually dressed all 3 girls and brought them down where Lauren was like, "They need to go change." None of this is working for
none
me
of this
today.
is right.
So, yeah. But it's been
hilarious.
so much fun. I've loved every single second, of being a dad to 3 little girls. They melt my heart every day. They're the best. So.
Okay, Thomas Rhett, go ahead and dive into the box. We can pull out another prop.
Okay. This is not a too far away memory right here.
This is new.
This photo shoot was literally 4 months ago, so this is very fresh on my brain. Man, it just brings back, what 2019 and 2020 did to me, as a person. That's what this whole record the whole concept came from. The whole country again concept of just like learning how to just slow down for a minute. Slowing down is not my greatest trait as a human. I love to just go. And I think this past year when I was kind of forced to slow down a little bit, I started to realize that, I love to sit, and I love to fish, and I love to do all these things that I kind of was always too busy to go do, and I got to do a lot of it last year and even in this year. So that's what this photo kind of represents, of just kind of just for a little bit of reflection, on the last couple of years and all the lessons I've learned and all the lessons I hope to take with me into the future. So. Yeah,
absolutely. Country Again, Side A, out now. Everyone listen.
It's
so good. For you, compared to other albums, what did this process look like, and how is it different for you for this one?
It was honestly different in every way that it could have been, Even from the writing process, I've always been a guy that loves to sit down with, a couple of track guys and like hear a bunch of the basically finished songs that they've created, and then me and the writers get to kind of put words over top of them. And this year, there wasn't a whole lot of that, It was like I'm sitting down at the piano, I'm sitting down just with an acoustic guitar and a couple of people writing songs. And I would say everything about this record making process was so much more raw and organic, and allowed the band to really be super creative in the studio. You know, that there wasn't a wrong answer. It was just like, let's try this, let's try that. If that doesn't work, we'll try something different. And it was really cool just to watch a song that basically just had a guitar and a piano in it come to life the way that it did in the studio. And so it was a little bit more of a challenging process for us, but it turned out to be one of my side A and side B or have turned out to be some of my favorite music I've ever gotten to make. So.
Oh, wow. I mean, I told you my favorite song is "Want It Again." I know you don't want to choose a favorite. I'm sure it's tough to pick. If you had to choose one song that you're most excited for your fans to hear off this new music, what would it be?
There's a song on there called "You Heard," which actually finishes out the album. It's the last song on the record, and it was one of the very early on songs that I kind of teased for my social media pages, and just was overwhelmed by the reaction of that, because I can so vividly go back in my mind. I think I was in Mississippi somewhere, and one of my co-writers had this title, and I had no idea what it meant until he started to sing the verse and the chorus to me, and we got to write that whole song together. I wrote that with my dad as well, and just kind of everything this song represents to me is just a great look at the last decade of my life and seeing how so much I desperately desired certain things, whether it was like my wife or getting to do this career for a living or really wanting babies one day, you know, and all of a sudden I'm looking back 10 years from now and I'm like, man, all those things came true, just maybe not at the time that I wanted them to come true. You know, I had to wait on them a little while. And, you know, they say all good things are worth waiting for. And, you know, those are three things in my life that I'm super proud of and love with all my heart. So I would say that is a song I'm really excited for everybody to hear.
I love that. That's beautiful. Thomas Rhett, thank you so much for being here with us.
I appreciate it. It's been such a blast. Thanks for taking me down memory lane. It's been awesome.
Of course. Don't forget, Thomas Rhett, Country Again, Side A out now. Make sure you stream it and watch the music video, which, by the way, the music video is so great. I loved it.
Thank you so much.
Thomas Rhett, thank you so much again for being here, and thank you all for watching. We will see you next time.